Oh my god, my brain just watched Lamb. How do I tell people about Lamb? I guess let's just get right into it because this is a difficult one for me. So Lamb is ostensibly an Icelandic horror film from Valdimar Jóhannsson, who is making his directorial debut. It's not ostensibly Icelandic, by the way. It's definitely Icelandic. The ostensible part, and the part that raises my specific eyebrow, doing my best Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson impression, is the horror part. Because it's not really a horror film to my mind. Just a weird film. And that's okay. Just saying, if you're here for thrills and chills, it's probably not the movie for you. It's a little more abstract and Lynchian than that, if you're a fan of Mr. David Lynch. Also, there are definitely a subsection of you who will have already watched or will watch Lamb. You've already made up your mind because it's a slow A24 horror thing, regardless of what I say. And that's the camp that I would fall into if I were watching this. So, to you good folks, bless you for sticking around anyway. So let's talk plot. Let's talk about the plot of Lamb. This won't take too long. A couple lost a child and they're sad. They also have sheep. And one of their sheepies gives birth to a lamb baby with the body of a human but the head of a lamb. But also the intellect of a human? Question mark? From here, the movie meanders through their basic routine, their little daily routine, as they treat this lamb baby as their own, and at no time do they question this to each other whatsoever. My favorite part of the movie is probably when the husband's brother comes in to stay with them, and rightly asks, quite literally, "What the fuck?" And the movie just meanders. It's almost like magical realism, slice of life, snapshot of the dailiness within this family, with minor creepy elements now and again. And then it gets really weird in the last minute of the movie, and then it ends. So I spent most of the film wondering what was wrong with these people. Like, how deep is your damage that you could treat this lamb baby abomination as anything other than literal devil spawn? That thing needed to be shot immediately. But I get it, it's the movie. The movie's about grief and parenthood, I guess, but it just didn't do enough with those themes to keep me fully engaged. Talk about the actors for a minute. The actors all do a very good job. I love Noomi Rapace. She's one of my favorite actresses, and she's good in this. But there's not much to her character besides embodying that theme of the protective mother. And same with the husband. The best character, I thought, was the brother, played by... What's his name, Jimmy? Okay. Bjorn Hlynur Haraldsson. You did a good job, Bjorn. Thanks, Jimmy. His performance won me over. Not just because he's sort of an audience surrogate for a while when he walks into this horrifying family drama with a demonic lamb baby and is super uneasy, but because his character had this inferred past and characterological traits that made him feel real. He was kind of sad, kind of pathetic, but I understood him up to a point, but maybe that's just me though. The filmmaking is also really good, technically speaking. This is an A24 film, after all, and I admire the stylistic choices in the movies they choose to produce. A24 films generally simmer and are generally like a really welcome departure from loud, fast, punishing aesthetics that today's mainstream throws at you. But Lamb might go too far in the other direction. It has too much simmer and not enough ingredients. The ingredients that are there are good, they're tasty, they're interesting, and generally well done, but in the end, it simply doesn't do enough with those characters, that plot, or the themes for me to give out a general recommendation. If you love that A24 style, you'll probably find enough to like here to make it worthwhile. I think it was an interesting attempt, right? And despite my problems with it, I think it's a really strong first feature. So I look forward to seeing what the director does next. And that's Lamb. Lamb is a hard one. Did you see it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you have any suggestions or recommendations for me? Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one.